The UN report is out and it's unequivocal. They're saying it's important to call a genocide and to consider suspending Israel. Now, look, we've always known that. We've been on marches, we've protested, we've let people know, if we can, we voted on this issue. And it's important to understand, this isn't the first time Israel has done this type of barbarism, but it has been live streamed, televised. And for those people who needed a legalistic argument on how bad is it for Israel, and we're really talking about Piers Morgan and politicians and some of that type of elite ivory tower proto-Zionists. Now, we've known they've done this. And look, in the Shabra and Shatila camps, and yesterday was the anniversary, Israel negotiated a disarmament with the PLO. PLO disarmed, their fighters left, and then Israel surrounded those two refugee camps and sent in their militias. And look at the militias that are distributing food, the Gava Health Foundation, that was the Christian Phalangist militias, went in there and they started from wall to wall, dragnetting and killing as they went through that. And if you read the book Pity the Nation by Robert Fisk, it will break your heart, but it will expose Israel's tactics. And we're not seeing anything different in the 1980s, 82, from what we're seeing now. All we're seeing is a bigger scale of that. But this report is really important for one reason. It's going to separate the hardcore Zionists that cannot be influenced, cannot be reasoned with, and we have to remove those people from their complicit, but not necessarily ideological, but weak supporters. You've got Ed Davies in the UK, the leader of the Liberal Democrat Party. Now, the Liberal Democrat Party, I mean, I don't know how relevant they are anymore. They kind of lost their moral standing when they got into bed with the Tories and then followed an austerity package when they were opposing that in the campaign running up to the elections. Now, Ed Davies, the leader of that, has finally said Israel is committing genocide 2 years in. Unbelievable. But we'll take him and we'll deal with him later. But the point is, the cracks is happening. Como, the ardent Zionist and opponent of Mamdani in the US, has already started to soften his position on what's happening in Gaza and starting to say, some people blame Israel. Some people blame Israel. Well, everyone blames Israel. So he's even moving his position. But these types of fair weather friends for Israel will start to abandon the cause the more pressure we put on it. And that's really important, that what we do is really level up. Israel never stops without pressure. They have no off-ramp. It's a violent, brutal regime, and the only way they've ever stopped is when they've had to face the consequences. Now, we need to make sure those consequences are long-term, but we need to make sure that we are part of institutions that can have institutional memory and institutional purpose. So have a look at the way that the Zionists infiltrate our institutions and then subvert them. Hence, it took the UN to say Israel's committing a genocide. Well, the BBC didn't say it, the ABC in Australia didn't say it, the PBS in the US didn't say it. This is all publicly funded broadcasters. The mainstream media obviously has provided propaganda for Israel. Our politicians, our political parties have provided it. Even our universities have been involved in providing succor, support and enablement for this genocide. It's because they've taken our institutions. So we need to now take them back or create new institutions that can actually de-Zionize our societies. And that means that this moment in time where they are in the back foot, and the Israeli President Herzog has said Israel has never been more isolated, well, this is the time that not only do we carry on our pressure, we build, reinforce our institutions, and we remove people who have infiltrated our institutions that have allowed this to happen.